problem here is when they pulled that gun from under the car, instead of when Lamont Pride fired the shot that killed Officer Figoski, the shell casing got stuck in the mechanism. It was called stovepiping is the word they use, and he'll explain, this detective from ballistics, what that means and what the possible causes are. One of them could be the cheap ammunition that he had in the gun. But suffice to say that when the fatal shot that killed Figoski was fired, instead of the shell casing being ejected, it got stuck in the gun mechanism. And as a result, this defendant could not, if he had wanted to, fire any additional rounds. The gun was in essence frozen. Now, I've told you about the eyewitness testimony, the police testimony, the video testimony, the DNA, the ballistics evidence, all the things you're going to hear from in the next couple weeks. But now, as I close, what I want you to do is think of this. I want you to put yourself, remember I told you, imagine you're Figoski and Estrada arriving at the scene and this is all you know? Now I want you to put yourself in the defendant's point of view, okay? He is hiding in that boiler room, dark. He has seen the two first officers, Whirl and Gandini, enter the apartment, and now he sees his opportunity to escape. He sees his partner, Kevin Santos, break for the stairs and run out, and then he turns to run out. But as he does so, he's in this, now remember this little staircase. You come out of the basement, the floor is no bigger than one of these tiles, and it's 5 steps up to that concrete yard. And he comes up and he's got the gun. And remember, he had loaded it and drew the slide back and it was ready to go. And it's in his right hand. And he comes up, heading to escape, heading for freedom, heading up those stairs. And what he encounters is Pete Figoski. Now you're going to hear from the medical examiner, Pete was only less than an inch taller than I am, shorter than I am. And admittedly, I have a few pounds on him, but not that many more pounds on him. He was a big guy. And as Lamont Pride, and you can see his size, despite his height, he's a pretty bulky guy. He's got the gun in his right hand. He turns, and now we're in this tiny little basement staircase, concrete or cement on every side. And there's Pete Figoski, almost my size, coming down in full uniform. He never even had a chance to draw his gun. Pete Figoski's gun was sitting in his belt when he was shot and killed. But now the defendant is faced with really only 2 choices. He can submit to the authority of the uniformed officer and say, I'm under arrest, okay, you got me. Or he can use the 9mm semi-automatic handgun he has fully loaded and ready to go in his hand and shoot and kill Pete Figoski in order to make his escape. And after you've heard all this evidence, ladies and gentlemen, it will be clear to you that despite his pleadings of this being an accident, this was no accident. He intended to kill Pete Figoski because that was the only way he was going to make his escape.
The question that you should keep asking yourselves is, does this evidence establish an intent to kill a police officer? Now, we're not looking for sympathy. We're not here to make excuses. A tragedy occurred. But we're here to ask you to do the difficult job that you are asked to do and that you took an oath to do, which is to hold Mr. Taub to his burden, that he proves to you beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Pride intentionally killed Police Officer Figoski. And we submit that that was not his intent at that moment.